Hold up.
I hope you're having a great day, and I hope you're staying safe at home. Today I want to talk about a problem that basically plagues millions of people across the world and even in our own country: piles or hemorrhoids. Now, a lot of people live with this, and it gets worse and worse, and then they have to undergo surgery and all of these things. Can it be prevented? 100% yes. Can it be healed naturally? 100% yes, of course, unless the extent of the inflammation in your piles has reached a level where it does require surgery. So we should never ignore symptoms. Now, how do we prevent piles, and what causes piles or hemorrhoids? Number one, straining. When you try to push out a stool, when you sit on the pot and you try to push your stool out, okay, what exactly are hemorrhoids? They're nothing. Or piles. Hemorrhoids are also called piles. They are enlarged veins inside of your rectum. You can have internal piles or hemorrhoids, and you can have external. Internal happens inside your rectum, and external actually protrudes outside of your rectum. So it could be like a small skin tag which gets bigger and bigger. You can actually feel it with your finger. So sometimes when you're cleaning yourself and you can feel that and it pains you, you want to get it checked up. So a pile happens when we strain. When we strain, we put a lot of pressure on our veins, and that causes it to get enlarged. Now, straining is also very, very bad for people who have heart conditions and people who have hypertension and high blood pressure. So yes, it can be prevented. Now, what do we do if we have piles? There are many, many things that you can do. But remember, don't just self-diagnose yourself, because sometimes there could be other symptoms. Whenever there's an irregular change in your bowel movement, when there's an irregular change in the way your motions are, some days it's hard, some days it's soft, some days it's stringy, some days it's sticky, it sticks to the pot, some days it's very smelly. When it's very irregular, you may want to get yourself checked up, because sometimes it may not only just be piles, it could be symptoms of other issues in your colon or in your gut. So that's number one. Number one, when you have piles, it could be painful. It's inflammation that's causing the pain. So when you sit down, it pains. When you walk, it pains. What can you do? Number one, wear loose clothing, especially your underwear, preferably cotton, so it can breathe the right way and it shouldn't be too tight. It shouldn't be pressing against the pile into your rectum. Number two, okay, if you are severely constipated, that is the reason why you have piles and hemorrhoids in the first place. If you were not constipated and your stool was soft like the way it's supposed to be, and when you sit, basically the muscle opens up and it automatically comes out. That's how our stool should be. But if you're constipated, you want to address the root cause of your constipation. Now, in case you have piles, okay, and you are still constipated, then speak to your doctor to give you a stool softener, because I would rather you pass a soft stool than pass a hard stool and make the pile or the hemorrhoid worse. Okay, when you already have a pile and you are pushing out a harder stool, it's creating an abrasion, and sometimes that can bleed, and it can also cause bleeding. So you also want to look out for blood in your stool or on the toilet paper as a symptom. You can use a cold compress, so you take like a cloth and you soak it in ice water for a while and you hold it gently against the pile for relief. Exercise. If you have piles that hurt you, be careful of the exercise you do. You do not want to do exercises like squats, lunges, or heavy weights until the pile gets better, until the hemorrhoids get better, because you put a lot of pressure. And again, when your legs or your rectum rubs against each other, it's going to cause more and more inflammation. You get a lot of over-the-counter ointments, which your doctor will tell you what to use, and that can usually give you relief and also reduce your inflammation. Aloe vera. Aloe vera gel is excellent. It's cooling, it's anti-inflammatory. It's something that you can put with your finger on the area of the pile very, very gently. You get a cream called witch hazel cream. I don't know how many of you remember this. You know, a lot of us used it as teenagers when we had acne or pimples. Well, you can use witch hazel cream even in your rectum. Okay, you don't want to push it right into your rectum. I'm talking about the pile that's externally protruding. So you can use witch hazel as well. You got to increase your diet as well, because if you're constipated, you're looking at more fiber. Remember, overdoing it on fiber can also cause issues with your gut. So you want to get the right amount of fiber. If you're eating a balanced diet, you're getting it from your fruits, your vegetables, your whole grains, your dals, your lentils, your legumes, your nuts, your seeds, all of that stuff. A lot of people who are very fit, but they overdo it on protein, also get piles. Because you got to remember one thing, if you're on a high protein diet, you need to increase the amount of water you consume. If you do not increase your water intake, protein can also constipate you. So you want to keep that in balance. Okay. If you are the person who uses toilet paper instead of the traditional and the right way of washing your rectum, which is with water and your fingers, but if you use toilet paper, then you want to move away from toilet paper to moist wipes. You get moist wipes, which are not so harsh as toilet paper, that can actually cause the pile to get worse. So you can use that. Now remember, a lot of people like to sit on the pot in the morning and read the papers and go through everything. The more you sit, if you have piles, the worse it's going to get. You're putting a lot of pressure on your piles when you sit on the pot for a long period of time, which is why the Indian way, the Indian toilet is still one of the best ways of pooping, which is why I always tell people, if you have a Western toilet at home, it's okay. But before you sit down to poop, get into a habit of sitting in the Malasana position. The Malasana position requires you can just hold the edge of your, any solid, like your toilet counter or whatever it is, and get into a Malasana position. That opens up your bowels completely. It relaxes your hip flexors, everything, allowing the motion to come out very, very easily. But do not sit on the pot for a long period of time. If you cannot pass a motion, get up, go around, do your work, have a glass of hot water, a little bit of ghee in it, or whatever it is that you are advised for your constipation, but fix your constipation. If there's a lot of pain, you may want to sit in a bucket of Epsom salt water. So fill the bucket with warm water, put about 100 grams of Epsom salt, and then squat into the bucket, holding something, safety first always. So the Epsom salt, you soak the pile or the rectum region in Epsom salt, and that's very relieving for you. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Most people today are constipated because they have lack of water. Water forms the bulk of your stool. Your stool absorbs water, so it becomes softer and it passes out of your rectum more easily. So these are the simple lifestyle changes. Most people do not have to suffer from piles, and if they have piles, they can naturally heal. But like I said, do not ignore the symptom. Get it checked by a doctor. Always get it checked by a doctor, because you want to make sure it's 100% pile and it's not correlated with any other gut issues that you may have or any problems that you may have in the colon. Have a great day, everyone. Until next time, eat smart, move more, sleep right, and breathe deep.